Hey everyone, today we are going to take a tour through an average grocery store. So we're going to walk through all the sections and think about all the plastics that you're going to encounter when shopping and what we can do instead. So all of our natural alternatives that we can use instead of buying things packaged in plastics. Now it can feel a little bit overwhelming at first because we're conditioned to going into these mega stores that have aisles lined with plastic. We're going to change up how we shop and we're going to be prepared by bringing reusables. So when we go into the shop, we start at the perimeter. It's very safe to shop in the perimeter of the store. It's where all the fresh foods live, the whole fresh foods that are good for us. It's what our bodies are designed to digest and get nutrition from. So I like to start there because somehow plastic has infiltrated this section as well. Now we usually go in and we have fruits and vegetables, all of which have their own packaging built in naturally. Pumpkins come with their own skin. Avocados come packaged in their own skin. Bananas, they have a peel to protect the fruit. However, we are now seeing lots of fruits and vegetables packaged in little plastic nets or in plastic punnets, these containers that unfortunately are not just bad for the environment, but are bad for our health as well. Now, I can already see, just from having this plastic net right here on our display, that it's shedding plastic fibers. So I've got all these little red plastic fibers that are shedding from this net. So imagine what's shedding not only into the environment, but also into your food. And these we can see. A lot of plastics shed microplastics or nanoplastics that are invisible to the naked eye. So we're in the produce section. These are our opportunities to say, I'm not going to get grapes because they're only packaged in this plastic bag. We also will find spinach and greens in these plastic boxes. Again, it's going to shed microplastics into your greens. Farmers markets have great options available for all of our greens fresh and ready to be picked and put into your reusable bag. We also find berries. It's really rare that I can eat berries. So many of them are packaged in these little plastic boxes. It's such a shame, but it's one thing that I do for the planet. These healthy fruits are so good for us and our bodies love them, but if they're packaged in plastic, ultimately that's not a part of the system that I want to be a part of in terms of feeding my body. So I say no to berries, and then when I do find them in bulk at a farmer's market, I stock up and I celebrate and I enjoy them even more. It's hard to avoid finding fruits without a little plastic sticker. These plastic stickers are great. They tell us a lot of useful information, such as if it's organic or the location of the fruit. This is good, useful info because we definitely want to be eating organic. We want to support organic farmers. And we also want to make sure that we're eating as local as possible. This is going to really help our food imprint. So one of the biggest things that we can do as individuals for the climate is eat locally, unpackaged foods, and prevent food waste. So unfortunately, even though this is giving us useful information, such as how to eat organic and eat more locally, it's plastic. And it's got so much dye and glue on this little sticker that no one is ever going to recycle this. It's not worth the expense of trying to separate all of the colors and glue from this little tiny piece of plastic. So this is just ending up as trash in landfill. So much of our plastic packaging doesn't get recycled. It just ends up in landfill. It's also great to ask how your food was grown and where. So if you have the opportunity, like when we change from the big mega stores to the farmers markets, to always ask these questions. So if it doesn't have a label, where was this grown? Was it grown locally? How did it grow? Okay, back to the mega supermarket. So we're walking in the produce aisle. We see lots of fresh, beautiful fruits and vegetables. We see these plastic produce bags. These plastic bags are so convenient. They're right there on the roll for you. Unfortunately, they're made from plastic. So this particular plastic, it's always great to have a look at the chasing arrows to see what kinds of plastics we're working with here. This is high density polyethylene. So it has lots of warnings on here to keep away from babies and children. That's accurate. We should keep these away from babies and children, not only because they could choke, but also because this is shedding microfibers and little bits of plastic, and it will end up in your food. So instead of using these plastic bags for your produce, we can bring our own bags. This one's really handy for big loose things. These are great for some of the smaller items that you don't want to slide through the holes. So we bring our own produce bags as well as our own bags at the checkout. So it's just reframing again This is not necessary. It's wasteful, it's single-use plastic, it's bad for the environment. We've got plenty of options for other solutions. Depending on where you live in the world, there are paper bags in your grocery stores as well. So I often suggest that if you forget to bring your own bags or you're still trying to build that habit, that you can go to other sections around the store to find these paper bags, which are useful if you're trying to bag up spinach or dates or loose produce. Part of the advice of this section is to be resourceful. So look around and see what you can use instead of the plastic. Speaking of the mushroom section, a lot of our mushrooms and different fruits and vegetables are packaged on plastic trays and then wrapped with plastic film. Now, a lot of these trays are made from polystyrene, and then the film can also be a styrene material. Polystyrene is a proven carcinogen. So this is our number 6 plastic. Carcinogen, it causes cancer. So we definitely don't want to be using this material around our food. Also in the fruits and vegetable, if you see a half-cut cantaloupe or half-cut cauliflower and then it's packaged in plastic, that is so unnecessary. You can get a whole cantaloupe, cut it in half, and then package it with a beeswax wrap. That's going to preserve it far better than plastic. Beeswax is very hygienic, and it's easy to clean, and it's natural, unlike plastic, which is going to leach little particles into your food. They also have lots of pre-made salads and pre-cut vegetables in plastic packaging in the grocery store. Seems really convenient and handy to have this all done for you, but it's packaged in plastic, so it's poisoning your food. And part of the zen of cooking is chopping and making sure that you're engaged in the food that you're preparing, that you're going to digest and eat. The more you are involved in the cooking process, the more your digestion begins sooner, and then the easier it is to digest your food. In the produce section, you're also going to see lots of beverages displayed and looking delicious. Juices in plastic packaging that might have labels like fresh, organic, or healthy. Juice is best when it's fresh. So right away when you juice some fruit, drink it then. That's the best. You can get secondhand juicers or blenders, blend up the fruit, drink the pulp. It's good for you. That fiber is good for you. Packaged plastic juices, not great for you. That plastic's toxic and it's leaching into your healthy juice. If they have glass bottles of kombucha with metal lids, those are great. You can repurpose those glass bottles or recycle them. Also in the drinks section, so you're avoiding cans lined with plastic, and you also want to avoid plastic bottles of soda or juice or whatever. Those plastic bottles are made from PET. You'll see polyethylene terephthalate on a number of packages throughout the store. That's plastic number 1. You'll see this plastic a lot around the store. This is the most highly recyclable plastic. Doesn't mean it's getting recycled.